So we're heading into the project setup. We're cloning Gmail, and we're going to be doing that with React. And this is for Nerdy Alliance. Nerdy Alliance is a group of developers that want to upskill themselves. So if you're hearing Nerdy Alliance for the first time, I'm going to drop in the link to the description, the link to the group in the description of this video, so you can click on it and join this Telegram group. We post content regularly to help everyone develop their skill in whatever level you are in your programming skill and get a better level. Alright, so we're setting up this project. We're going to be using React, like I said, and this Gmail clone. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like this video, turn on notifications so you will not miss subsequent videos from this channel. So let's go ahead and set up our project folder. So since we are using React, we need to create a React application. So quickly, so I'm going to use my command prompt to do that. So go ahead and open your command prompt. So try and open my command prompt. Good. So I need to navigate to the exact folder where I want to save this this Gmail clone application in. So I'm going to go to my documents, and inside my documents I have a folder called Nerdy Alliance. I think so. Yes. So let's see. Yeah, so I have a folder called Nerdy Alliance. So I'm going to be creating this Gmail clone web app here. So definitely to create an application with React, you use npx. So all these are possible if first of all you have downloaded nodes on your system. So if you have nodes on your system, that's when you can do this. So definitely if you have nodes on your system, go ahead and download nodes first. So after that, so let's go ahead and create our React app. Npx create React app. Then the name of the app we're creating, so it's Gmail. So I'm going to call this Gmail. Let me put a C in it. So it's not a Gmail clone. Let's go ahead. Let me just type this way. Gmail clone. Exactly. Then click on enter. Exactly. So it will run now and create our React application for us. Alright. So once it's done creating them, we can go ahead and kick off, or possibly run this on our browser. Alright. So exactly, we are done creating our React application. So let's start it. To start it, we need to navigate into that folder we created. So it's going to be cd Gmail clone. All right. So this takes me to the folder. So now I can run my npm start. This is how you start your application. All right. Right, so my application is starting, so then it opens on my browser. Okay, I think that's this exactly. So let's see what we have. Good. So if exactly, so this is what we have now. Our folder is open, and this is what we have. So if you want to see that folder, if you go to your documents, right? You go to your documents. So I saved in Nerdy Alliance. And you can see the folder here, Gmail clone. So this is my React application here, Gmail clone. Good. So this is what we have. So let's open this on our text editor. So I'm going to be using VS Code for now. So open my VS Code and open to that folder exactly. So file, open folder exactly. So documents. Other folder, my document, Nerdy Alliance, then Gmail clone. So select folder, Gmail clone. Select folder. Good. So this is what we have now. All right. So first thing first, we need to take off all this we are seeing here and take off every of the default setting that we have here. So you can find that in app.js. All right. This is the reason for that. So I'm going to clear everything we have here. I'm going to be deleting all this. I'm going to be deleting all these, even this application here, this class name. I'm deleting all of this. I'm going to save, take off this logo because we don't have a logo again, and import React from React. Right. So let's go into exactly. So we have cleared the page. Something else. Let's remove what we have in our apps.cs. Sorry, it was typed wrongly. It's supposed to be React, not. So let's go to our app.css. So this is like general CSS, right? Good. So Control so control all, I'm clearing everything. So we have a clear, exactly. There's nothing on our file now. So, but before we start now, we need to at least let's arrange our setup, alright? So I'm going to be creating a folder called components. So I'll have all my components in this folder. You know, that's the advantage of using React. React allows us to break our UI into components and build component by component. I'm going to be creating a folder here called component. So let's create a folder inside of my SRC. So I'll call components. Alright. Also going to be creating a folder inside my SRC called assets. So this asset folder would hold my images and all my various CSS files and so on. So I'm going to be creating a new folder here called assets. Alright. So inside our assets, I need to create 2 more folders inside of my asset. One will be for my images. Whatever image I'm going to be using will be inside of these. Create another folder inside of assets. So be careful when you select on asset. Let it be asset underlined. I'm going to create another folder for assets. I'm going to be creating a folder called CSS. Alright, so all my CSS files are going to be inside here. There's nothing wrong with putting your CSS file in app.css. It's also fine, but I just want to have all my various CSS inside of this CSS folder in my asset folder. Alright, so that's what we have. So I think I have my Gmail open already on my laptop, exactly. So so this is what I'm going to be cloning. Whatever, or your Gmail, I'm going to clone the Gmail though. So first thing first, what do we need to do? I think the first thing first we need to do is so let's look at what we're building first now. So now what we're going to be building is this top section. That's what we're going to be building on this video. This top section we're going to be building on this video. So we can call it the top section or the navbar or the header. So so let me close. I don't need this app. I don't really need this my app.cs. I'm closing it. So so that's the component. So I'm going to be creating a component file called header. So I'm going to create a component file now inside of my component folder. Alright. So I'll call this so let's call it header. So you can call it whatever. You can call it your navbar or something. I won't call it header. So header dot. So remember it's React. So you can save it as .jsx or .js. Anyone is fine. You save as .js, that's fine. JSX is also fine. Good. So good. So let's create our component now. So import React, React from where? From React. Excuse me. Good. So let's create the function component for now. I don't think we're having any complicated thing here for us to have a class component. So let's just have our function component created. So we could do let header. So this is arrow function. So in creating a function component, it could be either in ex6 form or the normal way we write functions and normal JavaScript. Anyone you use is fine. So we're going to be returning. So remember, good. So let's export default. Our default we're exporting is header. Alright, so let me just write something here. Good. So whatever I've done here would not display on my page yet. It won't display here yet. You know why? It's because whatever shows on our page is what we have in our app.js. Really, what we have in our app.js are displays on our page there. Alright, so I'm going to be importing my header to my app.js so it can be visible on the screen here. So it's very simple. So import header. So I can actually go in and type import header from this / and that will work fine. But if I just go into this and open my Angular tag and type header the way it's being saved on the header folder, it's going to import it for me automatically. Exactly. So you can see import header from component header. You get my point. So remember app.js is outside my component folder. So you can see what I'm. So by this I've imported my header to my app.js. Only what you have in your app.js becomes visible on your browser. So you can see now I have this H displaying here. Alright, so you can see. So that means we are good to go. We can work here now. Alright, good. So what we're going to be doing here is so we're going to be using grid to divide these various sections of this or these various areas of this particular header. I'm going to be using grid for it. Would have used Bootstrap grid for it, but there are little things that it won't give me the perfect thing I want. So I'm going to be using the normal CSS grid for this. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So let's just call this header. So let's call this okay, it's okay. Let's say it as a div. Let's call it header. Let's call it header. All right. So so like I said, we're going to be having, to avoid having a whole lot of CSS in our app.css, I'm going to be creating various CSS files for each component I'm working on. So that means I'm going to go to my asset folder and create a CSS file for this header component. I'm going to call that header.css. all right, good. I created a CSS folder. So for this CSS folder to work very well, all we need to do, we need to import it here. All right. So let me just comment down here and say components. So I have my components down here. Let's say CSS files. All right. So importing our header.css, right? So if you're using VS Code, you know how easy it is to navigate or move around. All right. So I'm moving to our asset folder. Inside our asset folder, we're going to CSS. It's going to be header.css. Alright, by doing this now, it means whatever we have here will function. So let's test it. So I'm going to let's just test and confirm. Alright, so let's do let's just give a bit of 0%. I'm just trying to test to confirm that it's working well. Height 30 px. Background color red. So let's see. Exactly, perfect. That means it was linked properly. So let's go to work. Let's start something. So I'm going to clear this out. All right. So good. So I have my header down here. So let's give it a class. So I'm giving it a class because I'm not sure if we'll probably not have another header class in this work. So let's say I'd love to style it with this with the tag name, but I don't know if I would need to use header again in my project. If I'm going to use header, if I'm going to be using header again in this project, so styling with header wouldn't make so much sense. So I'm going to give it a class to avoid issues. I'm going to give it a class. All right. So let's call this let's call it top nav. Let's call it top nav. All right. So I'm calling this a top nav. So top nav. All right. So remember what we said. So we're going to be using the grid to arrange all of this. We're going to be using grid system to partition them. All right. So first thing first, let's give it so display is what? Grid. All right. Or display is what? Or display is grid. Then what next to grid 2? So how do we align our columns now? So we have this. So so we need to decide what size from here to this would take, what size this to the end here would take, and what size these other components are going to take. So let's randomly give something. So let's okay, you know what, so before that, let's go down here and bring in everything we require for this that is necessary for this project. So first thing first. Good. So first thing first, let's get this logo. So for you to get this logo, so once you open your Gmail, right, click on it and you download it. So for me, I've downloaded mine already, so I'm just going to go to my downloads and pick it up. So this is where I have a Gmail logo. So I'm going to copy it and move it to my asset folder. So this is my Gmail clone. Going into this, I'm going to paste it here. Exactly. So I have my images saved here. Okay. So what else do we need? So the next thing I think we need also are the various icons. All these icons are the next thing we need. All these icons. So for us, we're going to be using a material.ui. So let's go to material.ui icons. Yeah. Let's go to my material.ui icons exactly. So quickly, so we need to install npm install. So copy. So we need to install these and go to our. Let's open our folder. So I'm going to paste this here, Ctrl V, install this. So I'm installing this so we can have this material icon. So it's not just this, we also need to install the icon npm 2. So let me just search for icon quickly here, and it brings out icon. Brings out all the icons. So good for us exactly. So we need to install these also. I'm going to copy this. So I'm going to create open another command prompt while this is running, so this can run simultaneously also. Ctrl V. So I'm going to be installing this also. Exactly. So once we're done, what else are we? Yes, once we're done installing that, then we can set up our project. So for now, I have my image here, so you can see I have my logo. So I'm going to be importing my logo. That's not the first thing I'm going to be importing my logo. So I'm importing my logo, but before that, let's partition this. So we're going to have a separate div to hold this logo and this icon, have a div for this search box area, and have a div for these other icons. So that means we're going to create 3 divs for that first. All right. So this would have so let's call this logo area. So let's class name. So let's say maybe logo area. All right. Create the second div and call this search box area or search area. Search area. Then let's call these so let's call this class name icon or icons area. Icons area. Good. So this is where those various contents are going to be coming in. This to have our logo and that menu icon. This for our search box area, and this also for what we're having. So so let me import my logo first while we're waiting for our icons to be imported. So I have my logo already inside of my images folder. So quickly, so import. So we call this logo. Import logo from. So you know how to get it right. So / where are we going to? So dot / takes us outside. So we're going to asset / images. What's the name of this our image? So we have Gmail. It's going to be Gmail -logo.png. So I've imported my logo now. All right, my logo has been imported. So I think so which one was done installing? So I think one of them is done. The second one is okay. Fine. So everything is done installing. That's good. Good. So now in this case, now we can now bring in our material icon. Alright, so I've imported my logo one. So what do I want? So the first icon I'm looking for should be so let's there's a point where we quickly search for icons easily. So yes, good. So material icon, so you can easily search for icons. Good. But the first icon I need is my menu icon. Good. So this is my menu icon. I'm going to select it. So for me to have this icon display, I need to import this. Very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and control copy all this and paste it here. Paste it here. Good. So I've imported my menu icon. So now we can bring in the menu icon and the logo inside of this particular spot. So let's do that. to have our menu icon, we'll use this is how we're going to bring it in. Menu icon. So to an extent, if you know the name of these icons, you can just actually type it, and your editor will help you bring them in. So like you can see, as I was typing menu icon, I can see various. So you can see nodes, this. So if you have an idea of the icons, so you can just type them and it comes in. So / this, good. So I have my menu icon on ground. Let me import my image too. So definitely we're going to be using the exactly. Sorry. So the logo I imported. Good. Let's save and see what we have. So for now, this is not so necessary for now till we're done. So let's save and see what we have. So exactly, we have these two on ground. 1, 2, 1, 2, exactly. So the next section is what do we have in the next section? The next section is our search area, right? So we need to import this the search icon. We need this, we need an input box, and we need this also. So quickly, so our search icon, let's go here and search for let's go clean this search okay, perfect. So we have a search icon here, so I'm going to be importing all these to copy. So import this to Ctrl V. All right, so we know how to put it in now. So good, search icon is in. The next thing we need to bring in is our input tag. So definitely it's text we're definitely using, and a placeholder called what? A placeholder called what do we have there? Search mail, right? Yes, what we have there is search mail. Okay, so search mail. Then the next thing is, yes, we have a drop down icon also. So I'm going to be searching for a drop down icon. So I'm just going to type in down. So exactly, this is what I want here. I'm importing that also. So let's put that in here. So we have what do we call this? Exactly. Good. So we have imported all this. So let's see what we have first. Let's see what we have. Good. So 1, 2, 3, 9. So the next one is this icon. So yeah, so this is like a help, settings, app icon, and this profile icon. So let's go and look for them. So settings. So the settings, good, exactly. These settings we want. Import settings. So it's not just material icon you could use. You could use a font also, and there are various icon stores that you could also use. Anyone that works for you, you can go ahead and use that one. It's very fine. Ctrl V. So settings icon. What's the next one we need also? Settings. So yes, let's look for help or support. Let's type support here. Support. Yes, so this is what we mean. Yes, perfect. This is what we want. And copy this. We can copy this and paste them here. Sorry, pasting it inside. The next one we need also is what else? Okay, so we need this apps icon and profile icon. Apps icon and profile icon. So I'm going to type in apps. apps. Perfecto. This is what I want. Okay, so copy this. One more thing also. We need one more. Last one we need this for profile. So you can actually do that with CSS. You can actually create a circle with CSS, but we won't do that now. We'll probably do that later. So let's look for profile icon. Profile. Okay, yes, account circle. This is what I want. I think so. Is there any other better one? No. So perfect. So this is what I want. I'm taking this. Copy. And pasting that here. All right, so let's go ahead and import all these various icons into their various divs. So first one has to be, the first one is help out, right? Good. Yes, help out comes in. The next one is settings. The next one is apps icon. I think the last one is account circle. Alright, so let's save and see what we have. Exactly, so these are what we have now. So we need to arrange them and have them display in line. Alright, so we're going to be using the display grid form for this. So like we have done the display grid. So now next thing we need to talk about is how do we partition them? What size are we giving to this category? What size are we giving to this category? What size are we giving to this last category? So let's randomly set up something. If it does not work, we'll probably make changes to it. So we're going to use grid template colon for that, and then let's give maybe let's give like 300 px auto to the second, and then last one maybe something like what do we give it? Let's say 150 px. Let's see what we have. Okay, so it feels to an extent, it feels okay to an extent. Good. So I've been able to display all these elements inline, so they have taken all their various positions. So what next do we need to do? So let's give it a height. Right? Yes, so let's give it a height. Let's give it a height. Let's give it a height of maybe let's give it a height of 60 px. All right. Give it a height of 60 px. Good. And let's assign to, there's a border also down here. There's a border down here. I want to pick the exact color of that border, so I have this color picker extension on my Google Chrome, so it helps me pick color. Okay, so that color is #ECEFF1. So #ECEFF1, #ECEFF1. So border 1 px solid #ECEFF1. I think I got that. Let me see. Good. So let's see what we have. Good. So exactly. So we have a border. Is this the actual border color? It feels like this is more faint. Possible I didn't get the exact color. Hold on. I think it's almost the same thing with this. Okay, yeah, so it's almost the same thing with this. So we're going to use F1, F3, F4. F1, F3, F4, right? F1, F3, F4. I'm going to change this to F1, F3, F4. And let's save. So it's a bit better. So the next thing we need to do is we need to vertically center this element, so they will be at the center of this height, the height of 60 px that we're giving to this. Let's vertically center it, right? We're going to be using the align item for that. So we're using align items center. So this would exactly to vertically center it, so you can see feels like they are the center of the height, except this image, which we'll see sort this one out. That one is not a problem. We'll sort that out. So next step, now we are done with this header section. So now let's go and work on the various categories, the various area. All right, so let's work on this logo area first and sort it out perfectly well. All right, so what's the name of the class? It's called logo area. Logo area. So let's logo area. So what are the things we need to do for our logo area? First of all, we also need to create a grid for this logo area and fix them in two different areas, so that this one have its own position, this one needs to have its own position also. So we're creating a grid for that also. So display display grid. Let's give them, let's partition them. So let's say 30% in auto. So when you assign the previous value and give auto, what it means is that it takes 30%, the other one takes whatever is left. All right, so let's see what we have. Okay, feels like okay. 30% feels too much. Let me do it 20% first. Let's see, the spacing between them are too much. Okay, that's fine. Let's I use 20%, so it's 20% right now. 20%. Our content is not yet centered, but first thing first, let's give it a height first. So we're going to give it a height and center it within that height. So let's give it a height of maybe 45 pieces. Let's do 45 pieces first. If all these heights are not fine, we can always work on them later. It feels like my logo is already at the right spot, but this is not the right spot. So definitely let's use our align items to vertically center it. Align items center. So I think yes, so I feel it's centered now. It is, so yes, it's centered, but one more thing is left. Our icon should not be at the edge. So you can see there's a space here, so you shouldn't have this at the edge. So how do we sort that out? It's very simple. Let's give this a div. There's our search icon. Sorry, there's our menu icon. Sorry. So I'm going to create a div specially for our menu icon. Okay, so before doing this, okay, in as much as we can center our elements we can vertically center it with this, we can horizontally center our elements using place items. But if I put in my place items in this particular grid, it's not going to function. So let's try that. So if I bring in place items here, it's not going to put it the exact area I want it to look at. So you can see, yes, putting this item has actually centered this one in its own area. So I centered this one within its own grid, I centered this one within its own grid, but I don't want this element far away from this element. I don't get my point. So it feels like it's okay now, but I don't want this element far away from this element. So I won't use that place center inside the grid holding this one, but instead for me to use that place center, I'm going to create a grid entirely for just this content and center the element. So it's going to affect just this. All right, so that's the reason why I'm not putting my place item center inside this logo area grid. All right, good. So what did we call it? So let's call this class, let's call this menu wrapper, or menu button wrapper. Let's call it menu button wrapper. Control copy. So display grid. All right. Then now we bring in our place item center. Place our item center. Exactly. So you see now, so within the grid holding just this, it has been centered and it's still closer to our logo, unlike when we center it on the general grid holding all of it. Then you get my point. So this is, I think, yes. So the next center, I feel this is So I feel this is okay. Yes. So I feel this is okay. That's fine. If there's anything I need to do, I'll probably increase the height of my the height of this header. Good. So we're done sorting out this particular one. So let's move to the next one, which is like our search area. So let's work on this search area very fast. All right. So what is it called? Good, search area. I'm just going to copy this, copy, and go to my CSS and paste it. So dot, and I paste my search area. Have we? Yes, search area. Good. So what are we doing now? So we're going to be using a grid again. I'm using a grid again now to assign various columns to each of them. I'm using grid again to assign various columns to each of them. I'm using grid to assign various columns to each of them. You guys me? So quickly, let's go ahead and put in our display grid. But before that, let's give the background first of all. Let's give it a background color. Background color definitely is what we saw there. So hash F1, F3, F4. Let's see what we have exactly. So you could see that this is the area that was assigned to this. Alright, this is the area that was assigned to this. But definitely so you can see the length of this. So we're going to reduce the height for this. So let's give it the width for that. So let's give it a width of maybe let's try a width of 600 px. Okay, fine, good. So width of 100 px seems okay and nice. So I'm going to be leaving it that way. So what's the next thing we're going to be doing? Let's partition our grid first of all. So let's give them display grid, right? Then grid template column. Alright, so let's assign parts to them. We could decide to give 10% auto and 10% also again. So assigning 10% to this, 10% to this, and our input box. Fine. Okay. It feels like it's taking shape. It's taking shape gradually. What else do we need to do? Now we need to. So we need to center this element within its own area. Center this within it. So we're going to center them horizontally, not vertically. If it's vertically, we're going to use align item, but since we are doing it horizontally, that means within here to here, this should be at the center. This one has already taken the full width already, so within here to here, this should be at the center. So we're going to be using a place. We're going to be using this place item center. Okay, fine, exactly. So let's see. Okay, sorry. Okay, it's not perfect yet, but we still have a lot of things to do. Let's give it a height. What height did we give this? Okay, so we gave this logo area 5 px, so let's give that same height we gave our logo area. Height 35 px. Okay, what else? But definitely border radius needs to come in. Definitely. Border radius, so let's say 5 px. Exactly. Okay, border radius. So something else I'm noticing. Let me be done styling this first, then we'll make that change. So first of all, this box seems shorter than what we have here, and where this is starting from is not the exact point where this is starting from. So that means I'm going to reduce the whatever width was given to this particular section of this grid. But let's be done setting this, then we'll do that. So I'm getting to border radius of 5 px, and yes. So what else? So something I observed about this is that when you inspect Gmail and see what it looks like on mobile device, actually at first, or normally, Gmail has its own different outlook or different look for when you're viewing it on a mobile device. It's not the same thing what you view when you're viewing it on your desktop. So to an extent, that would have made us not consider building something responsive. But the truth is that when you switch to a smart, like when you're inspecting on your screen, you can find that it is still responsive. So we would have issues with this box. We're going to have issues with this box if we leave it at 600 px, because if I leave it at 600 px, when we inspect and go to a device that is less than 600 px, what happens to the box? It becomes very not responsive. So as you can see, in this case, it's not anywhere close to responsive. So sometimes we're going to be using max width for that. So in that case now, whenever we switch to a smaller device, no matter the shape it takes on the smaller device, it would be, so we're going to be using max width for that first of all. So what we're going to do is now we're going to assign a width of 100%. All right, then make our max width 600px. So what this is going to do is that anytime we are displaying our device, anytime we are showing this, let me expand this first. So anytime we are showing this on a device that is more than 600px, it will take a height of 600px. But once the device cannot give out a space of 600px, or on a smaller device that's like 320, 350, it's going to take 100% width. I don't know if you get my point. So yes, it's still not responsive here, but we'll still set that out. But what it's going to do, so you can see now it's taking 100% on whatever is assigned to it, 100%, not normal 600px. All right, it's going to take 100% whenever we switch to something less than a width of 600px. All right, good. So next thing we need to do is to let's sort out our input box first of all. So let's give it a class. Sort our input box and give it a class. So our input box class will be let's call this search input box. Control copy. Search input box. Search input box. That's the next thing we're going to do is search input box. Alright, so let's give it a width of 100% first. So it's going to take 100% based on what has been assigned to it. Alright, the next thing to do is let's give it a height. A height of maybe 30px. What next? Definitely let's move we are giving the background color of that color we have there, but there's no need for that since we already have another background holding it. So we're going to make our background transparent. Make our background transparent. Let's move the border. Okay, let's save this first and see what we have. Excuse me. So okay, this is what we have now. So next thing we need to do is let's move the border we have on our input box. Border 0. We're taking off our border. Let's save. Exactly. So we're taking off the border. What else? What else do we need to do? Let's increase size of this. Let's increase this. Okay, let's increase the size a bit. Good. Font size, let's say 18px. That's too big. Let's take it down to 15. Okay. Feels not exactly. Okay. I think it's a bit better now. Good, it's a bit better now. So what next? So like I said previously, I think the space in between this is not the exact space we have here, so you can see the difference. So I'm going to be using the size given to this particular section. I'm going to be using that size. So remember, this is where we have our top nav template. So I'm going to be using this to like, let's do this to like 200px and save. Let's increase it to like, let's take it to 250. Yeah. Okay, feels like starting at the same point now. Yes. Feels like starting at the same point. The only thing I need to do is increase my height for this, my top nav. So let's increase our height of top nav to maybe 70px. Good. Somehow similar, but there's something. I think there's a little thing missing. Let's increase the height of this first of all. So the height of our search background. So let's take this to 50. Okay, fine. Okay. It's somehow close to it, so it's fine. Let's move. Okay. No. So I'm going to we should have left this at, let's leave it at 65. Then if it's even at 65, I might reduce this. You can see I'm going to leave this back at, okay, let's leave it first at 50 first. Let me see. Okay, fine. Okay. Then the curve, it feels it's too small, so I'm going to increase my border radius from 5 to 7 and save. Okay, so I think we've sorted this out for now. So the next thing we need to do is let's sort out these icons on this area. So so first of all, that definitely we're going to put them in a grid again. We'll put them in a grid and assign various columns to it. All right. So what's the name of that? So it's called the icons area. Control copy. Sorry. So let's go ahead and do that. Icons area. So icons area. So definitely we're going to be giving it a grid again. Display grid. Then we'll assign equal sizes to them. Grid template columns. Auto auto and save. Let's see. Perfect. Exactly. So we have our spacing assigned to them. We have the exact spacing assigned to them. So the next thing I think we need to do is to change the colors of these our icons. This is not the exact color of our icons. All right, so we're going to change the colors of our icons. Let's give them a class. Let's give each of these icons a class name. So I'm going to call this let's call it top nav icon. So I'm just going to copy it and paste around, because I feel they all have the same copy. They all have the same kind of icons, the same color of icons. Alright, let's give them so let's go ahead and start. So top nav icon. Is it icon or icons? Icon, yes. So we need to give it a color. Let's confirm that it works first. Let's just give it red first and we'll find the exact color. Let's confirm that this styling will actually affect them. Okay, fine. So it's affecting them. So let's go ahead and look for the exact color of our icon. So so we have 5F6368. 5F6368. Hold on, let me write down of the hash code for my icon. 5F6368. Good. So that's going to be the color for our icons all through. So if you want to get this color picker, it's very simple. Just go on Google, just search for color picker eyedropper Chrome extension on Google, and I think it will come out. So once you just search color pick eyedrop or color picker Chrome, just search color picker Chrome, you're going to see something like that. Exactly, this is the exact thing. So just go ahead and install that. It's easier for you to pick colors from whatever you're working on. All right, so let's go and assign that color to it. So hash 57638. Right. Fine. So that's fine. So let's see. Okay. So let me just add on. I'm going to do a little thing to this and where is my logo area? Good. So I'm going to increase this to 25%. My logo area. Logo area is this section. That's my logo area now. 25%. So exactly. So I feel it's now in line at the exact spot. Exactly. If there's anything missing, it is good. So that's it. So that's it. So Successfully, we have been able to build our top nav section or the header section of this Gmail. So in the next video, so take your time and watch this again and attempt it yourselves. So in the next video, we'll go ahead and build the various sidebars, the left and the right hand sidebar. All right. So if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe, like the video. If it's helpful, like this video, please. Alright, so that's all for our navbar. So we're done with the first section, which is building the top header of this Gmail clone. In the next video, we're going to work on the sidebars, the left and right sidebars. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. Like the video, turn on post notifications so you will not miss any of our content. And this is for Nerdy Alliance community. Nerdy Alliance community is a community of developers where the essence of this community is just to help everyone for whatever level you are to get a better level. So we're going to be dropping a link in our description, so you can click that link and get access and join this community and become a member of it. So see you in the next video.